Hey all. So when I graduated from college a long time ago, I was incredibly idealistic and optimistic, like most people. I thought design could change the world. Design could have real impact. Look at the big naive head of me down there. That was a long time ago. And then I got a job. And then in that job, I very quickly had to design a logo for pet food, a brochure for property, and a wealth management website. And I was like, ugh. I lost faith. Could I really make an impact? Would I ever get the right brief for the right clients? Now I work in innovation design. I focus in on public services work. And what I realized is design is really important in imagining desirable futures. But to actually make change, to have impact, we have to work with strategy and with engineering. Our latest project focuses in on transport. We've been working with governments who are looking at critical infrastructure, dealing with things like changing transport modalities and the impact of climate change. But transport's incredibly complex. So we started our process by mapping out the system, identifying the different elements, and quite quickly focused in on transport safety. It's central in all decision-making in transport. Historically, traffic throughput is the key performance indicator of successful roads. And this policy really drove our car culture and established a trade-off between speed and safety. When you're dealing with safety, there are a number of levers you can pull. Enforcement and education are important, but they tend to be reactive. Redesigning the environment is actually the most effective and the longest lasting way of having impact. Unfortunately, what we found out was that if you want to make a change to public infrastructure, it's based on a really morbid calculation which looks at the number of deaths or injuries at a specific location. The rules require death. So this brought us to our key question: how might we shift road safety from being reactive to being proactive? How could we design more intelligent systems and bring together the political kind of focus on this challenge? We socialized some of our research. We identified a county in Florida. Florida has a huge problem. 8 people die every day on the roads there. That's essentially the equivalent of a plane crash every month. We brought together 20 emerging technologies for proactive safety. And one of these, the area of near misses, had a lot of potential. This is using technology like LiDAR to understand when accidents almost occur. And the literature said this had a lot of potential. So we went out to Florida to run our workshop. On our first day, we nearly got hit by this vehicle. And we realized things are pretty bad over here. But could we actually make a change? We pushed ahead with our workshop and we learned a lot. We learned to differentiate between what's cool versus what's useful. So LiDAR looks pretty cool. They'd actually tried it. They'd tried near misses. They couldn't really integrate this new metric into their current ways of working. Public services workshops may not look cool, but they're incredibly useful. The participants were really passionate about the problem. They wanted to see how they could integrate these new technologies to achieve proactive safety. And it opened up new ways of doing research with them. So we got to do a lot of interviews, we got to do a lot of observations. We mapped out their data landscape, identified their pain points, and found ways to integrate these new technologies into their systems. And we also started to prototype. We prototyped to see where could these insights have real impact. This screen, for example, shows all of the intersections within the county, all ranked by crash rates versus crash severity. We also designed interactive map-based interfaces that also included dynamic filters and data visualizations. And this allowed the transport agencies to expand their analytical capacity. It allowed their engineers to query large data sets without the need for code. We also then developed a range of KPIs for proactive safety. And this allowed engineers to identify where risk was, to design interventions, and to gather the evidence that was needed. It provided insight without injury. So essentially, through this work, we took an academic concept and we transformed it into a practical tool. And we're now working with this client to scale this solution out across their region. So as I said at the beginning, in innovation design, it is a team sport. So I want to give a big shout out to the strategists and engineers and the designers that worked on this. We're working together to try to essentially have zero impacts on our street. And with that, we hope to have a real impact on road safety.